Our overall days around our homestead vary from day to day as well as season to season, but every day sort of takes the same beginning because there's always little and big mouths to feed, so my day pretty much always begins with starting breakfast. On this particular day of homemaking, we had a very rainy, dreary day, actually for about a week, but I actually love rainy days because I don't feel as guilty for staying indoors and tackling all the homemaking tasks that seem to always be running around in the back of my mind. Part of my role in Homemaker is making our meals count. That means cooking with easily attainable ingredients that are in season and sourced from our homestead as often as possible. I need to make smart decisions when it comes to nourishment in our food, as well as how I use it before it may spoil. So today I'm making a favorite, cottage cheese eggs with eggs sourced in our backyard with citrus oranges, which are currently in season. The night before, I had also mixed up some long fermented sourdough strawberry muffins that are in the oven baking as I'm getting the rest of breakfast prepared. Homemaking is sort of a state of mind that is somewhat learned over a course of time. It's hard to teach someone just getting started out. I remember when I first jumped in full-time homemaking, there were many tasks I just sort of had to learn for myself and figure out what worked best in our home. It wasn't just something I could copy from someone else's home I'd seen on social media. You could definitely take ideas, but I find that getting into your true sustainable homemaking groove is something that just kind of has to be practiced and applied over several months, even years, to really get the hang of what works best for you and your family. Things such as using up produce that my family enjoys in creative ways before it goes bad, learning to source quality meats and making those meats stretch from one meal to the next, teaching little ones table manners and making sure the fridge is rotated through often so no leftovers get pushed to the back and then wasted. This is all the parts of my job that I actually really enjoy. The laundry and the dishes, however, not so much, but they are just part of this gig. On this particular day, we had a second later breakfast since the muffins were not quite done when the first round of family sat down to eat. But never fret, meals can always be adapted and the food you prepare will get eaten no matter what time it may be served. My second round of breakfast eaters enjoyed the hot muffins with their breakfast. Sometimes as homemakers, we feel we have to keep this pristine home in spite of those who live among us. But after a few years of this job under my belt, I've learned that that just isn't sustainable at certain stages of life. In this sweet season with little ones running underfoot, those little feet track in mud, the hands that bring in sticks and leaves from the yard, the dishes that they may break, or the messes that they will inevitably make while enjoying a meal, those are all things that can be put back into their place in due time. Our homes are meant to serve and to be enjoyed by all of those who dwell inside. Remembering this really helps me not to fret over the little messes that constantly appear when working to keep the home. Perfection is not attainable at this point, but really is it ever? So I'm trying to remember that this home is here to serve our family, and that is all I'm really striving for. A lot of our days are spent indoors as homemakers, so I always enjoy the opportunity to get outside in nature with my children and the animals to welcome the fresh air into our lungs before I turn back inside to finish a few tasks to care for the home. As a homemaker, I find it necessary to spend a few moments in the Word before continuing on with my days. We are put under a lot as homemakers, from keeping up with children, the home, the meals, and so much more. I find I'm much more at peace and ease and patient throughout my days when I take these few moments at some point in the morning with the Lord. Most days I also try to squeeze in a quick workout and or stretch before jumping back into my homemaking for the day. So I have broken my homemaking housekeeping task into a few days of the week. I allocate about 30 to 45 minutes each morning to work on a specific task or in a specific area of my home. So as you see here, on Thursdays, I'm focusing on the living room deep cleaning. With the nature of our family dynamics and the kids and I being home all day, every day, playing, eating, homeschooling, going in and out of the house on a farm, this means that my entire house is never actually clean at the same time. But in this season of life, that is okay. I know that if our bathroom is extra dirty one day, I can give it a quick 2-minute wipe over, but then on Friday, it will get a nice deep cleaning. If my kitchen cabinets have some extra sticky fingerprints on them, they'll get a wipe down on Wednesdays. Giving certain tasks certain days like this has made the overwhelm that could come with this job much less. It is also very fulfilling to know that you've accomplished your tasks for the day and you can let your mind be at rest. There are many beautiful sides of homemaking, like redecorating your home for the holidays or freshening up your table vases with fresh spring flowers. But much of homemaking is just the mundane, everyday cleaning around our homes. It's crawling down to look under the couch for lost toys, puzzle pieces, or apple cores, washing sticky faces and hands after a meal, scrubbing the floors after the second or third juice spill for the day. It can feel monotonous and like it's a never-ending cascade of work that we are often never thanked for or told that we did a good job. So if you're feeling this way in your homemaking, you are definitely not alone. What has always been helpful for me is remembering that we as the homemaker are the constants in our home. We are the ones always there pouring our love and time into the home. We set the tone for our families who live here with us, creating a calm, inviting, and warm space to grow and love. Proverbs 31:27, a verse that I've referenced many times, but it still means so much to me as a homemaker. She looks well to the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. She carefully watches everything in her household and suffers nothing from laziness. She keeps an eye on everyone in her household and keeps them all busy and productive. This just reminds me that this work is glorifying, no matter if I get earthly praise or if much of the work goes unnoticed. It matters and it is important. Looking to the ways of our household also means there will come another meal to prepare just around the corner. I like to have a general idea at the beginning of each day as to what 3 meals I will be preparing that day. Learning to take single ingredient foods and creating a beautiful, nourishing meal is such a creative side many homemakers may often overlook. When I get discouraged that I have to cook another meal for my family who is hungry again, I remind myself that as homemakers, we have the privilege to provide the most wholesome and nourishing meals to fill our family's bellies, and I find that such an honor. These people who live with me fully trust me to provide foods that keep them healthy and well, a job I do not take lightly. This is a way I can love and care for them with home-cooked healthy meals that just can't be matched with eating out or packaged food from the grocery stores. If we do not have leftovers to eat for lunch, I like to serve a simple soup and sandwich, even in the warmer months. They are economical, full of nourishment from the abundance of bone broth I always add to our soups, and I can have them prepared within a very short time for an easy and quick lunch. Today we are having a simple tomato soup with a high-protein grilled cheese sandwiches. The afternoons around our home have a little bit less structure in them. My children do take nap and quiet times, but my husband's schedule is pretty variant, and if he is home early, we often go with his flow for the rest of the afternoon. Sometimes this means working in the yard, doing some outdoor cleanup or a project, some computer work for me, reading, or doing activities with the kids when they come down for their rooms. It just varies every day. The one constant in the afternoon is having a nourishing drink. Some days this looks like a yogi latte or vanilla cloud. Some days it's an herbal warmed or chilled tea. Today it's a warm mug of Nora tea. So if you know anything about this tea, you may have guessed my big news. I am pregnant with baby number 4 for our family. Nora tea is a pregnancy tea as well as a postpartum drink I include in all of my pregnancies. It stands for nettle, oat straw, red raspberry, and alfalfa. I drink this tea throughout most of my pregnancy and just increase the amount as I near the end of the pregnancy. It's a very beneficial source for minerals during pregnancy as well as postpartum and may potentially shorten the length of labor. I've actually seen this to be true, and also decrease blood loss at birth. I'm well into my second trimester at this point, and it's getting kind of hard to cover up the bump, so you may have already actually noticed and guessed that I might be expecting, and we will be welcoming this baby this upcoming summer. So as I said, each afternoon is very different, but I've actually come to enjoy the less structure in our afternoons after having such a structured morning. It gives our family time to go with the flow, and I always know I can come back a little bit before dinner and pull the home back together with a quick tidy and pick up of the messes that have occurred yet again. This is not a deep clean, just a quick blessing of the home. It's a time we go through and find homes for any toys, pick up any messes, finish up any last minute laundry so that our homes look blessed and can be a blessing to us as we enter the evening hours for dinner and then bedtime.